Well, it is a stormy night in Texoma. That is one thing that is for sure. It is, it's really been storming for about the past hour and a half or so with off and on kind of heavy rainfall over Wichita Falls. Now, we're not dealing with severe weather, uh, but we are dealing with, like I say, these heavy downpours. And in the summertime, that's what you get here. You get these slow moving thunderstorms with a lot of very heavy rainfall. And that is exactly what we're seeing here. And not only that, but there's also a lot of lightning. And it's a lot of intense lightning out there tonight, too. With these thunderstorms, currently I don't have any. I find it hard to believe that Wichita Falls is not in a flash flood warning, to be honest about it right now. Because I mean, it has been raining off and on hard, and there are a lot of. I'm on dinner break. I mean, the drainage ditches are filling up, and the roadways are flooded. I mean, that's just all there is to it. The roadways are flooded here, so stay off those roads if you can, because it is a definitely kind of a flooded night. So here across the area. So let's look at the radar here, and we will kind of talk about what's going on a bit. And once again, these are not severe thunderstorms. These are summertime thunderstorms, and they're not like the ones we get in the spring. They're not. They're not a. You don't have the wind shear. We don't have supercells. We don't have anything like that. These are just clusters of heavy rain producing thunderstorms. In fact, it sounds like at least the rain has kind of let up a little bit here at the station, but still have some really loud claps of thunder out there. If we kind of take a look here, what's going on in Wichita Falls, if you take a look at the radar, and you can see that area of red, it's just especially over the southern and eastern parts of the city here. It's just been coming down for a while now, and over into western parts of Clay County. Very heavy rainfall. And again, quite a bit of lightning in that too, loud claps of thunder. And there's also storms that have redeveloped back off to the west, and they're actually kind of increasing a bit over there just north of Holiday and kind of back towards the Dundee area. I would think that the storms that are over the city now would be chewing up the energy and the instability. So I would think that those storms would not be able to drift over us. I would think they would kind of stay where they are and kind of drift over in that area. I wouldn't think those would build back into the city. Of course, I mean, we'll have to just kind of see how it plays out. But heaviest rain on radar is from just about Wichita Falls all the way down to just north of Archer City. Lakeside City, where I live, a lot of heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning over that way, loud claps of thunder. This heavy rain is on the corner of Archer, Wichita, and Clay County, and moving right over 281. And it's kind of drifting and kind of building over towards Lake Arrowhead, the Scotland area, some heavy claps of thunder just outside of the town there. And the heaviest activities north of Archer City. But kind of in this quadrant from about Lakeside City, north of Archer City, over to just about Scotland northward. That's where your heaviest rain is located here at this time. If I kind of zoom in a bit closer, kind of go on down here, where you see these little magenta areas, it may indicate a little bit of hail. But, if you get hail, it'll be pea size. That'll solid, not damaging hail here. But as you can see here, this is zoomed in on southeastern Wichita County. A lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain downpours in those areas. I don't know if you hear it on the microphone or not, but there's some pretty loud claps of thunder here at the station. Along 287, you go back towards the Henry S. Grace Freeway. You got some downpours in those areas. We can go into the city itself, heavy rainfall along Southwest Parkway and Taft Boulevard, the southern part of it, that is, out towards that Greenbrier Walmart. And then if you follow Kemp, you go all the way down here to about Highway 79. And Highway 79, kind of runs over here towards the Lakeside City area, Lake Wichita, seeing some heavy rain here at this time. We can kind of go over here to the west a little bit. Now, the rain has let up a bit on the west side of Lake Wichita, and it has let up a little bit across parts of Wichita Falls itself. In fact, you can see kind of over the northern part of the town, right where the station is, it has let up some, but there's still some downpours on the northern side of this that still could kind of slap the northern side of the city. And then you go down to the south, and you can still see some heavy rain trying to come up from the southwest into the Lake Wichita area, Lakeside City area. with some more heavy rain. So there probably is some flooding. I mean, you don't have any type of flood warnings or anything here, but there probably is some flash flooding going on in some areas regardless. So I'm not aware of any water rescues, but that doesn't mean none are happening here. Now we go back to the west and just south on the south side of Iowa Park and kind of between Iowa Park and Holiday, pretty decent thunderstorm there. May have a little small hail in that, and you kind of follow this little boundary, a little area of thunderstorm all the way back to Lake Diversion and into the Lake Kemp area. Heavy storms have really ignited here across southern Wilbarger County, well south of Vernon. I think the storminess is going to be over north of this boundary here, north of where this area of heavy rain is. We go down into Seymour, and there's some really heavy rain ongoing in Seymour, a lot of lightning and thunder, loud claps down that way, drifting over Lake Kemp. You get down to the south and right along 183, developing through the southern part of Baylor County down into northern Throckmorton County. Heavy downpours and loud claps of thunder there. We can get into Olney and back towards Young County, and you're seeing thunderstorms now develop. I bet the outflow boundary is down here to the south somewhere. Let me enhance the radar so we can see it. Yeah, I can see it. So the outflow boundary is basically through Throckmorton now, through Graham. And, and as that comes over, you're going to, you get some of these winds picking up out of the north. And you can almost see, you see some collision. We call outflow boundary collision there. Right to the southeast of Throckmorton, you got a boundary coming in from the north, another one coming in from the west there to increase its convergence because you got strong winds coming from opposite directions in those areas. And you could see perhaps maybe a bit of an increase in thunderstorm activity in Throckmorton County. And the tendency has been for the thunderstorms to develop behind the outflow boundary. The boundary itself drops through and you get the development behind it. So that's where most of the development is. So I do expect, and it looks like this is, should take place, that we should see some heavier areas of rain develop, perhaps maybe kind of down into this area here pretty soon here. So some areas of heavier rain could develop in those areas. You do got a pretty good area of heavy rain from about the Ford County line all the way. You can basically follow the county line to the southern county lines of Wilbarger, Wichita County, and to Baylor and Archer County. And that's where you just kind of have a band of just really heavy rain. I do believe that this is going to rain itself out here pretty soon, pretty quick, I would think anyway, if you're just going on logic. But, and you'll probably see the development of some heavier rain down to the south. So Jacksboro getting in on the act now, Graham and Throckmorton getting some thunderstorm activity. So I do expect this thunderstorm activity to gradually wind down here in Wichita Falls. In fact, you can see those storms west of us over there into parts of the southwestern part of Wichita County that's over there towards KMA and those areas. You can see as it tries to move a little bit east, it kind of weakens some. And I just believe that a lot of the energy's just been chewed up and it's cool outside, rain cooled air over us. So I don't know that activity will be able to move into the city, but it's possible. But I'm not thinking it's probable. But we'll keep an eye on it. If that were to happen, we get slapped with some more heavy rain. You can really see it really blowing up though. Baylor County really getting in on the action now. So heavy rain over in those areas. But there's a bit of a hole down towards Lake Kickapoo. And then you jump over here to the east. There's some just general rain and some little rumbles of thunder now up in Jefferson and Stevens County. Actually, some moderate to heavy rain there on the backside of this big thunderstorm complex area. And you get into northern part of Clay County, and there's some, the storminess here is not super, super strong here, but there are some downpours still north of Henrietta, drifting up towards Petrolia. Waurika, you're still seeing some moderate to heavy rain. Ringling, likewise. You get down into Montague County, and that is some pretty heavy downpours there. Moving into and on the east side of Nocona, most of the activity, at least for now, is east of Bowie and kind of over towards Montague, St. Joe, and Forestburg. You jump over there into the north central Texas from about just north of Denton all the way up to Ardmore. You got thunderstorms, and there's the outflow boundary that's moving south in those areas. Just passed through Decatur and Bridgeport and moving through Denton. This will move into the northern side of the Metroplex here shortly. And as it does so, again, you'll see some gusty winds with that, but you're seeing those thunderstorms blow up right behind it. So heavy thunderstorms are going to develop southward down into Decatur and Wise County and eventually over here into Denton. And eventually you're going to see these thunderstorm areas here develop down to the south, down into the northern side of the metro here, Metroplex there with some heavy rain and again, some loud claps of thunder. This is not severe thunderstorm activity here. The outflow boundary that's pushing through is, I think this is cooling the atmosphere off, and I think it's causing a lot of these storms to be what we call elevated, meaning they're kind of based up a little bit higher in the sky, but they're still putting out a lot of lightning. Heavy rainfall continues, and they're not moving very fast because we don't have a lot of upper level wind steering currents right now. The upper level wind energy is really weak in the summer here. You don't have the jet stream, so you don't have a lot of movement. They develop, they kind of just drift a little bit and kind of rain themselves out, only to develop in other areas. You got some development now on the west and east side of Scotland along 281, moving over the southern shores of Lake Arrowhead. And you got this a little thunderstorm complex that's been producing all this heavy rain over in Archer County, beginning to slide east. So I do expect Lake Arrowhead to get in on the action here pretty soon. And I wouldn't be surprised to see thunderstorms get going over more of Clay County. So Blue Grove, Henrietta, those areas, could see some, more significant thunderstorm activity. We'll go back into Wichita Falls, and again, here at the station, pretty loud claps of thunder, but it is not raining as hard as it was. Still got a lot of lightning over us. Matter of fact, if up towards Burke-Burnett, just some lighter showers right now, and the heaviest rain may be over with there. You can follow that trend down into the northern parts of Iowa Park, and maybe even towards kind of like the northern side of Wichita Falls or northern side of the City View area, kind of over towards the Shepherd Air Force Base, and it's not raining nearly as heavy as it was. So there, and you can see the thunderstorms are decreasing now over Wichita Falls. So look at the northern edge, how they really are starting to kind of begin to dwindle a bit. And you look back to the west, and these storms that along the little Wichita River, Condane Corner to the western side, they're not really moving into the city. Again, there's just no instability there. These are going to kind of drift here slowly across southwest Wichita County and probably down into northern parts of Archer County. They still could slap Holiday and maybe western side of Wichita Falls, maybe with a little bit more heavy rain. But we'll just have to kind of wait and see how all that plays out. But heavy rain, heavy thunderstorms ongoing and down to the south of Grayback there, northern parts of Wilbarger County, down into the Lake Kemp area, now towards Maybell. Heavy rainfall all over that area. We hadn't really talked about Ford County much, but towards Kroll, those areas, some heavy rain just west of Kroll. Loud claps of thunder building eastward here. So if you look at the wider view, and that's a pretty large area of storms here tonight. Hey, look, this is the last day in June, and we're still seeing heavy rain and storms, and it doesn't happen like that very often around here. Usually by late June, we don't see much in the way of storminess. So I'm grateful that we're seeing it, and just this year is just a little different. That's just all there is to it, just a little different. So now I'll try to take time to answer a little question. So yeah, Corey, so far most of the storminess has been east of Bowie. I still think you could get some stuff. So water coming back on here in the house, still low pressure, hoped water line fixed. Thanks Moline for that. This time last year, we were drought last year this time. So what a difference a year makes. I think these storms will be winding down here pretty soon, Melissa. I really do. I would say it's 9 o'clock now. I'd say probably in the next hour, it'd probably pretty much winding down and pretty much done. So, Olivia, these storms are developing into Graham. It'll be pretty noisy down there for the next couple of hours, I think. Yeah, just a lot of these thunderstorms, just time of year. It's summertime and it's hot, it's humid outside, and they're just energetic and they're filled with lots of lightning here. So, pretty good lightning display probably tonight after the sun goes down here. So we have no electricity in Dean. I don't think that's from wind. I bet that's from lightning strikes. Lightning will cause the power to go out too. So Jacob, I was just talking about Wise County a little bit. And, you've got that outflow boundary that just pushed through Bridgeport and Decatur. And it's kind of dropping south of 380. Let me share my screen with you again here. So you got this area of storminess that's been kind of located west of you or north of you here. And now that the outflow boundary is dropping to the south through Wise County, you're starting to see thunderstorms develop behind it. And I can kind of show you where it's at here. See that line there, a little gray blue line? That's your outflow boundary. and you've got these thunderstorms developing behind it. So I would think a good part of Wise County should see at least some scattering of thunderstorms there, some heavy rain, like you're seeing over Alvord, the northern side of Lake Bridgeport itself, or just north of it. It's coming into Bridgeport now, into Runaway Bay. Decatur will probably get in on some of those storms here pretty soon. And you can follow it along 287. Not as much going on down at the southeast, but as this outflow boundary drops to the south here, there's going to be an increase in thunderstorms, behind the outflow boundary here. So there's your outflow boundary, and it's going to continue to drop to the south, and you'll see these storms that are up here develop, and more will develop down to the south too. So I do expect this area here to fill in from Jacksboro over to Decatur. And there's also these other storms that have developed kind of out ahead of it here down towards Dell, and as this outflow boundary drops south, there'll probably be a pretty good explosion of thunderstorms, I would think, in this area here. So Bridgeport, Decatur, Jacksboro, these areas. Again, this is not severe. These are just downpours and dangerous lightning strikes. But, you got some storms in Jacksboro that should continue. You got storms blowing up now all across Young County. You got storms right down there along 380, Newcastle, Graham, Alney, some thunderstorms. Not a whole lot of storminess in Alney yet, but there's a lot of storms just off to your south. And the tendency are for these storms to develop and drift a little bit north. Not very fast, but drift a little bit north. Then you go over here to the west and look at all that heavy rain there from Throckmorton. Well, that's a lot of heavy rain, man. There's going to be some flooding in that, I bet, from about Lake Kemp down to about Throckmorton. That is filling in quick. And then, of course, here in Wichita Falls, again, the storm is finally beginning to rain itself out a bit. But you do got this band of thunderstorms over towards Cadane Corner and KMA over to about Holiday that's kind of linked up with it. I just think a lot of that's going to drip down into northwestern Archer County and kind of rain itself out. It may still slap at least the western side of Wichita Falls. Now, Lakeside City, the rain is beginning to let up down that way. It's not raining as much as it was. Dean and Jolly, some pretty strong thunderstorms over towards you. Some pretty good lightning strikes with that little band of heavy rain there. And over Lake Arrowhead, we're starting to see some of these areas of heavy rain move into those areas here. Let's get away here. But yeah, you can see it there. Scotland finally getting on the rain there along 281. And that big blob is just kind of drifting a little bit over into Clay County. Henrietta, there's some storms on the north side of you, and storms west of you may develop over that way here. So let me kind of sum. Let me show you how much rain has fallen from these storms here. Let me find my button here. We're going to go with 12-hour rainfall totals. We might even do 6. Let's do 3. So over the last 3 hours, rainfall has been pretty heavy here. And if we take a look, this little area just east of Lake Wichita and kind of just kind of southeast of Wichita Falls, just barely south of the Kickapoo Airport, and just the last 3 hours has picked up over 2 inches of rain. Then you go up here into the city itself, and rainfall amounts we're here at the station about 1.5 inches. This is in the last 3 hours. Towards Lakeside City here along 1954, rainfall amounts, so especially to the south there, 1 to 2 inches there. Over Lakeside City itself, over the lake, about an inch, somewhere about it, especially the east side. Estimate, these are radar estimates, but a good part of Wichita Falls somewhere close to and above an inch. I wonder if that's some type of a record, man. That's a lot of rain. And again, there it is along 281 there, just barely a hair south of Kickapoo Airport, about 2 to 2.5 inches of rain. That's over the last 3 hours. And if we kind of take a look at rainfall rates here, I mean, this is just showing how much rain is falling out of these thunderstorms per hour is what it's doing. It's just a rate. And I don't show this very often. I probably should, but I mean, reflectivity covers it as well, though. So, I mean, if you look, there's the rainfall rates coming out of this showing about an inch, about 2 inches per hour is what's falling. So they're producing a lot of heavy rain here. And up to the north of Holiday, there's 2.5 to 3 inch rainfall rates, coming down out of that per hour. So that shows you how much rain is falling. It's coming down. A lot of rain is coming down in a short period of time, and it's just running off, and that's creating some flood issues. Same thing over into Baylor County here. And we'll be developing down into Wise County. Now, if we kind of take a look, the Bowie area, you've escaped a lot of the storms, and it just depends on how things develop to your south. You could see some drift into Bowie, but Bowie, you may have missed out. So we'll just have to see what happens there. A lot of it's east and south of you. And in the summertime, I mean, it's just a gamble. or it's it's just kind of a roll of the dice. You just don't know. It's hit or miss. So, but the good news is none of this is severe here. If this were a situation where we had wind shear in place, and if these storms weren't what I consider elevated, you could make an argument that there's some broad rotation with this storm over Lake Arrowhead. You really could. Because I see green, which represents winds moving towards the radar, and red moving away from the radar. So you probably have some type of a sail merger in here, I bet. Yeah, you can see it. Kind of those sails from the south kind of merge with that area to the north here. So some type of a merger there. So there is a little broad rotation. And sometimes when you get these mergers, even if you don't have wind shear, when you get these mergers and you get these different boundaries that react with each other, sometimes you can get some spinning in them. They usually don't produce a tornado. If they do, they're very weak. But I do see some weak rotation there with this thunderstorm, some way or another. There over Lake Arrowhead, on the north side of Lake Arrowhead. I don't think that that's going to be surface based. I think it's going to be elevated, but there is definitely a little rotation in there. Wonder if I can see it out of Fort Worth. No. See if I can see it out of Abilene. Yeah, but that, again, don't be concerned. I'm just looking at it myself. This is not anything to be concerned with. You can see it's kind of changed shape a little bit. But there is some broad rotation in there, though. But I think it's because of some sail mergers over Lake Arrowhead. What would be interesting is if that were to produce some water spouts, and it very well could over the lake. We've seen these water spouts pop up over Lake Nakona quite a bit. So I think I may have forgot to share my screen with you. Did I forget to share my screen with you guys? No, there's not going to be a microburst over Wichita Falls. No, I don't think we're seeing tornadoes at all, Jacob. We're good. Yeah, it's been a lot of rain. Like I say, a couple inches of rain definitely has fallen. I wonder what the official reading is out at the Shepherd Air Force Base. I think I'm going to look at that. Give me a second here. I'm going to look at this up and see what they're reporting on out there as far as rainfall goes. Yeah, but it has definitely been a stormy night for sure. Our weather models did a pretty good job with that too. They indicated that we were going to have a stormy night here last week here on Monday. So, all right. So I'm going to go to Norman and see what they're. I wish we had a mesonet here. I don't think do we have a mesonet here? Let's see. Texas meso. This will be a better way for me to tell how much rain is falling. So this has. What's up? Yep.
I'll make it quick. If you don't mind.
Oh, you ready?
Tonight I'm just gonna basically start with you, but I'm gonna look at power outages.
Okay.
Around, so almost like a headline type thing come up.
Double
box toss to you.
Okay.
Expect anything else in town tonight?
No, this is going to rain. This is about to wind down here pretty soon. So.
Okay, we'll go over that. We'll just kind of make it real quick.
All right, sounds good. So the northern side of Wichita Falls, at the Shepherd Air Force Base, which they usually miss out on the heaviest rain, has only gotten about a half to 3/4 of an inch. But then you jump down to there's a measuring station here. On the east side of town that picked up in the last couple of hours about 1.5 inches. And you go down to the Kickapoo Airport, and about an inch and a half of rain has fallen. So that's where your heaviest rain has been. Is kind of the southern side of the city there. Wish I could get some rainfall. Wish they had some Mesonet had some recording stations down in Archer County, but they don't. So I don't know. It's just there's not a lot of reporting stations around here. So. There's Beaver Creek, but that's just about 1/10 of an inch is all they've gotten there, which I don't believe that. Buffalo Creek has 0, which I know that's not right. So you don't even have anything from Burt Burnett up there. I wish we did. But yeah, it looks like if the official number at Shepherd's going to be on the low side. But like I say, the south side of Wichita Falls picking up about 2 inches, of about 1.5 to 2 inches of rain. So that's pretty impressive. So it won't go down in the record books as a. So there is a flood warning here. It's not a flash flood warning, but there's a flood advisory. They change those things up all the time. So. Yeah, Shepherd. Yeah, about a half inch of rain, or a little more than a half inch of rain out there at the Shepherd Air Force Base is what's falling. So, yeah, I know Weather Underground has stations, and that's actually a really good site. I'm gonna go look at that. Weather. That's a good point. Weather Underground's a really good. It's actually a really good. It's a really good site. We're actually working on getting some Mesonet sites ourselves from here at the station, and placing them around the area so we can get more information. Or we're talking about it anyway. I'm trying to get to the map here so I can see a few other things here. Yeah, that's a good site. A lot of these are home sites here. So Lakeside City. All right, so here, this is really good actually. Matter of fact, why don't we do this here? I can share this with you guys. So you don't have to just hear me talk. I can actually share that with you here. So all right. So here we are. And let's go a little bit bigger there. All right, here we go. So if you look here, there is this is Lakeside City. This is a reporting station. This is probably somebody's home station, I would imagine, down there. This is Lakeside City. It looks like rainfall is about 1.5 inches in Lakeside City, and that's over. I don't know how long of a period that is, but that is about 1.5 inches showing up there. We can look at some more stations. Here's another. This is at Hammond Road, and it looks like about 1 inch in that particular reporting station. This is going to be on the southwest side of Wichita Falls, and about 1/2 inch there, which I don't know how accurate these are, but that's only 1/2 inch. I don't think that those are going to be that accurate, because here's another one that didn't show rainfall amounts there. This one shows no rainfall amounts here. This is out towards Lake Arrowhead. That Lake Arrowhead showing about 2 inches of rain there out of that one. This is Dean. Dean got didn't show any there. And see, that's not right either. So, but yeah, there have been some good rainfall amounts down in some of these areas here. I'm just clicking on some of them aren't reporting, but some of them are. Here's one on the other side of Holiday. Here's one south of Holiday. As you can see, they did not report much rain in those. But again, Lakeside City, about 1 inch. Well, about 1.5 inches to 2 inches there. And then here's on the southeast side of Wichita Falls. See, that's not correct. That's not correct there either. I don't know how long. They could have emptied the bucket. It could have been. This may not be for. Here we go. It's a graph, but it doesn't show precipitation though. But yeah, Weather Underground's a good site though. A lot of times for some of this stuff here. If you ever want to see like rainfall amounts. I'd like to get it to where we had something like this on our page here too. Our web page. Let's see. You can play this here. Let's see what it does. Oh, it just shows temperatures is all that does. So, all right. Well, let's go back to the to El Radar, and you know what? We have storms that have now redeveloped over on the west side of Lakeside City and southwestern Wichita Falls. So just when you thought that these storms were going to rain themselves out, they've kind of redeveloped and kind of moved into those areas again. So I'm going to go back and share with you my radar. So here we are, and we're zoomed in. Well, about that particular image, we're zoomed in. And, so the rain is going to continue to add up. Now, I do think that north of this area, like the northern side of Iowa Park, Electra, Burnett, you're probably done with. But just as the storminess was wrapping up over Wichita Falls, more has developed there down towards Lakeside City. Probably another one of these outflow boundaries. And, it's just, it looks like at least over the northern side of Archer County and maybe over towards Holiday and those areas, going to continue to see some heavy rain. And then we get over Baylor County continues to get it. Alney, you're seeing some storms in your area now. Newcastle, Graham, Jacksboro, some hit and miss storms down there. Mineral Wells, Weatherford got some pretty heavy storms. Storms have increased a lot towards Decatur and especially just north of Bridgeport and over Lake Bridgeport, kind of lifted north there into Montague County tonight. Pretty good downpours in some of those areas here. So, but yeah, pretty stormy night in Texoma. What do they call it? Rainy night in Georgia, rainy night in Texoma. I bet I could write a song about that. All right. Let's go back over and look at what you folks are saying. So, yeah, lots of lightning and heavy rain in Seymour. It really is pretty stormy down in that area. So, Katie, I don't think it's going to last much longer. I do think this is going to be the storminess will be over with here pretty soon, especially here in Wichita Falls. But we'll just have to see, how it all plays out here. So, but this has been like I say, a very stormy night for sure. Very stormy night. And, and temperatures don't really look that bad this week, honestly. They really don't. Low to mid 90s. And that's the problem with it isn't the temperatures. It's just so dang humid outside. And when we get rain like this, it's just going to be humid because the sun comes out and it focuses down on that wet ground, that wet soil. And it starts to evaporate that moisture. So when it evaporates the moisture in the soil, it turns into water vapor. Water vapor is invisible moisture you can't see, but you can certainly feel it. And it just makes the air feel like what's air you can wear. When the sun comes out, it just feels miserable outside. I can take a dry heat any day, a low humidity dry heat any day over humidity stuff. I can't stand it. So could you recommend a reliable weather app that provides accurate information on tornadoes, hail, wind, and other severe conditions? They're not honestly, there's a lot of good apps out there. I always say that, the TV stations app here, the First Alert 6 weather app, because in that app, you can go and you can turn on what notifications you want to get and it'll tell you, when you get a warning for your location or a warning for your particular county, whatever you have programmed it in. It's real easy to turn on and off, and real easy to program here. One thing that people, especially in Wichita Falls, were concerned about, we had a couple tornado warnings this past year, and the tornado sirens didn't go off because their criteria is it has to be confirmed on the ground. Well, of course, growing up, you're taught to listen for the tornado sirens, but oftentimes, you can't hear them that well because it may be pouring down rain outside, or it could be, you could be asleep or something. It'd be a hard time to hearing it. So I don't recommend, that's old school technology, and I don't recommend, anybody relying on tornado sirens anymore, because there's just way better ways of getting information. That's old school, and they're meant to be for outdoor warning sirens for when people are outside. And you can use it anywhere, whatever state you want to be in, Veronica. You can use it in your state, wherever state you're in. You can use it in wherever your location. You just put your location in, boom, it'll let you know, for that location that you're in. It's pretty cool. First Alert 6 weather app, pretty good little app there. I like it. And I like it locally because I get to update the forecast here on it. It's not like done by AI or done by other stuff. Now I know AI is a big important thing that's coming up. And I'll be honest, I love ChatGPT. I think ChatGPT is the best thing ever. I mean, it's literally like talking to somebody, an expert. and it'll correct you. It gives you so many avenues. I mean, you can literally put your video on and it'll tell you how to fix your car. It's incredible. But it's good at stuff like that. I don't think AI is going to be good at forecasting weather, though. I mean, maybe eventually, but right now it's not. There's several what they call AI computer learning models, and they're not good. They just I just think that it's just computer error when you're relying 100% upon these computer models to give you your forecast. You're also if you live, it's like I've always said, if you live by the computer models, you're going to die by them too. And I think the AI would do that. Would be the would go by the computer models. That's just what it does. It goes by all the AI is doing is searching the web, but it's searching it like in nanoseconds and getting all the information that would take us weeks. It gets it in a few seconds. That's the only thing it's doing. So, but yeah, AI, honestly, AI, while it's cool, is very scary, very scary. So, hey, what's up there, Jacob Cook? There's our brand new, our newest meteorologist here. Everybody say hello to Jacob Cook. He's our new weekend meteorologist, doing a good job there for us. Artificial intelligence. He's learning a lot, coming in and doing a good job. So, some of these storm chasers do have decent weather pages here, and I'm going to have to give credit where credit is due. And David he does have a good page, and he's a good forecaster too. Very, very, very good, very good. I can't say anything bad about them. They don't hype as much as some of these other ones do. So, but yeah, David's good. You're welcome, Jacob Cook. Jacob, Jacob works. He's working this week on Wednesday. So I'm planning on trying to bring him in here on Facebook Live to introduce him to you guys. Of course, I'm always, ripping on and making fun of Cam. So I don't know. Since Jacob is new, I won't be making fun of him too much yet. But one of these days, he will probably get made fun of as well. But that it's all in good fun and whatnot. Cameron and I are very close, and I'll rip on him, he'll rip right back on me. It's just what we do. So yeah, you should be getting some rain over there in Nakona. You should be seeing some. It's not as much rain as we fall over here in the Wichita and Archer County, northern Archer County. It's just been pouring down rain. But a lot of this stuff's getting ready to rain itself out, though, honestly. So Nakona, if I'm looking here, most of the storminess is away from you, and you might see some storms develop into your area. It's hard to say, but I just think that the heaviest might be south of you. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Let me see. What is the weather? What's the latest computer models doing here with this stuff? Let's see what the latest HRRR does here. Yeah, it rains. It has this stuff raining itself out pretty quickly here in Wichita by 10 o'clock. And, there's some hit and miss storms around Nakona and Bowie through about midnight or so. Then it begins to kind of fade, go away. Then we get into tomorrow, and it looks like there's going to be some more hit and miss thunderstorms around tomorrow afternoon. Probably not as widespread as today. And then you just got these waves of what looks like tropical moisture coming in that, could lead to, off and on periods of showers this week. It's going to keep us a bit on the cool, keep us cooler than we usually would be this time of the year. So the old weatherman always says on the 4th of July, it never fails every year. Hotter than a firecracker. And maybe this year we won't say that. We'll see. But it's still raining heavy in Holiday, or actually about to start picking up again in Holiday again here in a minute. Still got decent rain falling in Lakeside City, over the Southwestern Parkway there, just outside of the city limits of Wichita Falls, kind of out of KMAY. But I do believe places like Burt Burnett, Iowa Park, Electra, probably the northern side of Wichita Falls are done with as far as heavy stuff goes. Henrietta, there's some stuff trying to develop into your area from the west, but that stuff is moving so slowly. It's heavy rain over Lake Arrowhead, really heavy. and kind of on the just east of Wichita Falls along 287. It's a pretty heavy rain. Jolly. And that's trying to build into Henrietta, so we'll see if it does. Seymour looks at the heaviest. It's just east of you. There's also a band of heavy rain just west of you too, and and again, it's not moving. It's just kind of staying and put and kind of drifting a little bit. So, but I do think this is going to gradually kind of calm down here over the next couple of hours. So, if you want to go to sleep, by all means, go to sleep. Nothing to worry about. But if you want to go to, get some rest and you don't want to be woke up by the thunder, then, I think that you're probably, I think you'll probably be pretty good to go to sleep. Personally, I like it. I like it when it's storming outside, but that's just me. So I sleep good. So. There's dust out there, but that Sahara dust actually, impacts the tropical regions of the Atlantic more than it does us here. I mean, anything that it does here basically going to give you just an orange sunsets. All that's going to do. Really don't do anything else for us, really. Maybe it'll make the sky a little hazy. I don't know. Good question, Terry. We're looking into that kind of stuff now too for weather stations. I really don't know. There's a bunch of them out there. Meteorologics used to be good. I don't know if they still do that stuff or not. Let me look here and see. Of course, this is a top 10 according to Google. Here is the best overall would be Accurite Iris Home Weather Station. I never heard of Accurite. Vivor. I know they have security cameras, but that looks pretty good. Vivor. Another one here says, I don't know what brand that is. There didn't say. Ambient weather stations, Obet, Accurite. Looks like Accurite's a good one. Lacrosse. Yeah, I would go with Accurite. I don't know. I don't know much about these, but just judging on the Google and what the people's choice is, the best overall weather station would be Accurite Iris 5-in-1 Home weather station with Wi-Fi connection to Weather Underground with temperature. So that's what you'd want to go with right there, I would think. So, all right, I hope I answered your question there. So what about you guys? Did y'all have a good weekend? Did y'all do anything fun this weekend? So, and see, Jacob, you just now got here. You really haven't gotten into the messing with Cam part yet. It's fun. I love messing with Cam. It's so funny. And he messes right back with me though. So it's even funnier. So what were you guys up to this weekend? Let's see. What did I do? Well, on Saturday, I cut grass and it was hot. I cut grass and then my wife and I got in the pool had a little pool afternoon. And then we ate McBride's for dinner. So Saturday was a fun day. I enjoyed that. Very seldom do I ever just take a day where I just don't do anything. So Sunday, so I've been working on, I broke my phone here. This is my phone. And my phone is broke. See, it's cracked there and cracked. So I had to go to the store and try to replace it. So I went and I was actually going to have this one fixed. And the guy told me that it would cost you more to fix it than it would be to buy just a new one. So I just, okay, I'll buy a new one. So I bought a new one. I was trying to set it up and I still don't have it all set up because my number won't transfer over. So, but I've got everything else on here but the new. So that's what my day was spent doing yesterday. Plus I cooked for family dinner night, which family dinner night only consisted of Jordan and his girlfriend last night. And then, yeah, that was what was what. So I didn't do anything major this weekend, but it was a good weekend. So, of course, 4th of July coming up this Friday. I'm excited about that. 4th in the Falls. And let me tell you, folks, if you haven't been to 4th in the Falls, I suggest you go try it. It is a lot of fun. Yours truly will be out there. Weatherman Cam will be out there. Weatherman Jacob will not be out there. He has to work here in the studio. Sorry, Jacob. Low man on the totem pole. Yeah. Yep. Got you. I got you. And then, of course, we have the fireworks show is synchronized to music, and it's just a really, really good fireworks show. And a lot of people come out to it. And last year the weather was really good, and I'm hoping this year the weather will be good too. So it's a good fireworks show. So I do suggest you go out Fourth in the Falls. They'll have bands, and they'll have battle at the high school bands. It'll be really great. Then, of course, there's a lot of fireworks shows that go on around the area, but I've never been to, and I want to go so bad to the fireworks show at Hell's Gate PK. I love PK. I go down there. I haven't been this year, but I like to go down. I used to have a boat, and we used to go down there all the time, but I sold my boat. So, anyway, I love I love that area down. It's real pretty down there. I love the water, but I've never been to the PK Hell's Gate fireworks show, and I really want to go. My wife says you don't go unless you have a boat. Well, I don't have a boat, so I don't get to go. But if somebody wants to let me borrow a boat or let me ride with them, I'd be open to that. Anyway, yes, Jacob, you have to do the 10 p.m. show. So you can come hang out for a little while, but you got to be back here at the station here I would say by at least 9 o'clock. So, but you could come down there and, hang out in the early part of the afternoon, early part of the evening, and go eat some food and whatnot. The food is good. So. That's funny. Laura, that's funny. Oh man, that's funny. And the young people all say bet. I still don't know what they're betting on. They say bet. Cameron says all that bet. Like, what are you betting on? Bet. I know what it means, but I still don't understand why my kids have been saying that for years. Why do you say bet? So anyway. Oh, me. Yeah, about to have to go dress for a newscast, but I'll stay on for a few more minutes. It's true. Even the cops won't come up here. So where are you talking about, Laura? Here in Wichita Falls? I wasn't aware of any place in Wichita Falls that was that bad. I guess what am I trying to think here? I've lost my train of thought. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi. All right. And I ain't gonna lie, man. There's parts of that place. There's parts of Jackson that the cops don't even want to go. And I don't want to go. It's pretty bad. It ain't pretty bad. It's really bad. And, when I first got started in this career field many, many eons ago, you have to, when you're a weekend person in a lot of markets, you have to start off and you do reporting a couple days a week, and then you do weather on the weekends. So when there wasn't anything weather-wise going on, they would make me report, and they'd make me go into some of these areas after it'd be like a homicide or something like that. And oh man, I hated it. I was scared to death, man, and I just didn't like it. But I hated reporting too. Hated it, and that was one of the reasons why I hated it. So I just don't believe. Well, I mean, I guess there could be some of that in Bowie and around here, but like I say, man, I don't know. I'm not going to get on a tangent of all that. Supposed to be talking about weather here, folks. Weather. But it is. But some of that stuff is pretty funny. Yeah, it looks like these storms are finally raining themselves out over Lakeside City and the holiday. So there's some pretty heavy rain down there, but it's finally starting to wind down here. But I still think our southern counties could see some pretty heavy rain, though. So what about you guys? What are y'all doing for the 4th of July? What you doing? Like I say, I will be at 4th in the Falls on Friday. Used to, and I know I've said this before, the 4th of July was my absolute favorite holiday of the entire year because we had a big family gathering. But my kids have gotten older now, and they do their own things. We'd go to my sister's house, or where we'd go, and up in Arkansas. It was always a great time. But my kids have gotten older, and they don't really want to. They really kind of go do their own things. And then I don't know. It's just mostly me and my wife now. So that's we don't go do that anymore, which is really kind of sad, because it used to be a really fun time to do. I'd see my mom and my dad, I'd see my sister and my brother-in-law and my nieces and nephews and other people that were in the family. It just was a great time. But we don't do that anymore. It was only a great time for just a short period of time, and then it kind of dwindled down. So now we just kind of hang out around here. It's just outside of work. It's just another day. You can see from my house in Lakeside City, you can see fireworks shows from all different angles. We live on some land out there. We live on the back of the lake there, and it's there. We have an open, so you got a clear bird's eye view to Lake Wichita in the downtown area. You see fireworks shooting up all over the place. So it's pretty cool, actually. Calm Family on Discord. Yeah, I don't know much about Discord. I don't know much about outside of Facebook and really Facebook and Twitter. I guess it's X now. I can't get over stop calling Twitter. And TikTok. I really don't know much about a lot of these different types of social media platforms. Like they got Twitch and they got all the other kind of stuff these days. And I'm not even big on Instagram. Probably should be, but I'm not. But yeah, usually United Market Street will have the briskets on sale this week. They used to, I don't know if they still do or not, but they used to have them on sale, and I always go buy a couple of briskets. But the bad news is my smoker has burned out. It finally has burned out. And I also had a pellet grill, and it burned out too. I've used it so much, it all burned out. So I need to go and buy me another one now, I guess. But I sure would like to go to that PK fireworks show on Saturday night. But PK is Possum Kingdom. It's a lake just south of here. It's beautiful. It's in the hill country. But like I say, I doubt that we do that. But I would like to one day do that. So I'm surprised Weatherman Cam hadn't gotten on here. Of course, he's at home with family. It's fun. You can see everyone and watch movies with Nitro. What is Nitro? Oh, pay part of Discord. Otherwise, all free. Yeah, like I say, I don't know much about that. My family don't do a lot of social media anyway. My mom barely does Facebook. My dad barely even know. My dad don't even text. My dad literally does not text. He just doesn't text. I mean, he may answer if you call him, but that's it. He ain't going to text you. You don't text him because he won't return. He don't know how to text. He just recently learned how to operate YouTube on there, I think. So he has a Facebook account, and sometimes he'll post stuff, and you'll know it was an accident, though. Yeah, I know it is, Elena. And Elena, I would love to see it. I've heard stories. I've always heard you've not lived in Texas until you go see a fireworks show at PK, and I've yet to see it. I had a boat at one time, and I got scared out there because my boat wasn't real big. It was a fish ski boat's what it was. I use it mostly for fishing, but this time of year we'd take the kids. I take the kids out there, inner tubing and skiing and whatnot. But it wasn't a real big boat. And on PK, they had those big yachts and those huge boats going up and down. There's a bunch of them, and man, it's just doing like this. And my boat was just sitting there doing like that. I take on water, and I was like, I'm not doing this again. So the only way I'd go out there is if I had like a big pontoon boat or a yacht or something like that. And then you got to get out there early and get you a spot. If you don't, you miss out. And I don't want to be out in the heat all day anyway. So it is all right. It'll be okay. So I'll live. Used to, I'd shoot fireworks when I was a kid. My kids were little, we'd shoot fireworks. But, now it's like watching your money go up in smoke. So I don't want to do that anymore. I think that's probably the only part about my kids being little that I don't miss. And that is the fact that I don't the firework thing was crazy. So I mean, it'd be expensive to go buy fireworks, and then it would just be wasting money is all it was. So We bought a house with a great grill on the back patio, but we have no idea how to use it. You're more than welcome to come over and grill with us anytime. Well, thank you, Veronica. I appreciate that. I'm sure if you looked at it and inspected enough, you could figure out how to do it. But this is a short week for most people. I think a lot of people are off work, maybe Thursday and Friday. There's I think Burt Burnett's fireworks show was on Thursday night. And then again, the Fourth in the Falls is on Saturday night. A lot of fireworks show on Friday night. So, of course, next year, the 4th of July will be on, I guess it's on Saturday. So that means that people will have off I guess they would have off Friday for the holiday. So they'll have off Friday. And then I guess if it falls on Sunday, you have off that following Monday, I think. So you get a little bit of a long weekend there. All right. Well, guys, I am going to jump off of here. And these storms should be raining themselves out here pretty soon. I'm going to get ready for the newscast. And I will see y'all coming up tonight. Well, I won't see you. I don't know why I say that, because I don't see you. All I see is a camera over there. I don't see anybody except Chris in the studio, and then Ernest is over there, and the camera operator Kyrie sometimes. So I won't see you. You'll see me if you watch me here in a few minutes on News Channel 6. We'll be tracking these thunderstorms, and we'll have a look at the rest of your forecast for the rest of the 4th of July week. Yeah, rain is mostly done now in Wichita Falls for the most part, outside of just some showers, a little leftover rumble of thunder. And I expect all the rest of them to kind of rain themselves out here pretty soon as well. So, yeah, turn your girl, what are you doing? Don't turn your AC off. You live in Texas. Of course, it is pretty cool outside right now. I guess if you wanted to give it a little bit of a break, you could. At my house, my AC doesn't cut off in the summertime. It don't matter if it's 95 or 100, they don't cut off. My wife, was getting those hot flash things. So I went and bought her a big, portable AC unit to put in our room to try to keep her cooler at night there. So it stays really cold in my house. And then sometimes I'm so cold, I'm like, got icicles hanging from my nose there. So, all right, guys, y'all have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow, and y'all have a great Tuesday.